breaking news just into us from the Erik ten Hag news conference, and there's some really interesting lines to come. First of all, that Cristiano Ronaldo very much remains part of their squad and in his plans. All right, so that's the first bit. Aaron Wan-Bissaka staying. Once Antony and Dubravka come in, all right, and they are very close, that is it. No more incomings, all right? So, according to Erik ten Hag, with not very long left to go in this transfer window at all, Ronaldo's still part of his plans, Aaron Wan-Bissaka going nowhere, and after Antony and Dubravka, who are on the verge of signing, that will be it in terms of transfers. How much of a surprise is that to you, Dave?
Well, I mean, the first thing that strikes you is that Ronaldo is going to be staying, and that is the public line that has been pushed out through the whole of this transfer window, and it seems like now that is going to be the end of it, that he is going to be staying. Now, it seems unthinkable for me for one of the greatest players of all time to be sat on the bench. And Kevin, you talked about legacy earlier. I mean, it feels to me like Cristiano Ronaldo wouldn't want his playing legacy, he is towards the latter part of his career, he wouldn't want his playing legacy to be ended on a team where he's sat on the bench. So it says to me that Cristiano Ronaldo will be reintegrated sooner rather than later and will be starting games for Manchester United. I think the other thing that strikes me about Manchester United's business this summer, and you go back to what Ralph Rangnick was talking about, he spoke about United needing physical, aggressive players and needing as many as 7 or 8 transfers this summer, and they haven't managed to do that this summer. It's been a gradual, or it looks like it's going to be a gradual evolution for Erik ten Hag at Manchester United.
I will say that you said he said he needed sort of 6, 7, 8, 10 players. I mean, they've brought 6 in, and 5 of those do change their starting 11. If you look at them, you look at Antony, you look at Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Tyrell Malacia, Lisandro Martinez as well. It's only one of them in Martin Dubravka who's actually going to be back up to David De Gea and strengthens the pool there at goalkeeping. So 5 of them have slotted into the starting 11 and changed the quality of that starting 11 straight away.
Kevin, when you look at what Erik ten Hag has done whilst being the Manchester United boss this summer, does it leave you scratching your head a little bit? Because it almost looks from the outside that the recruitment strategy and the targeting of players has fallen largely upon his shoulders, because the players that have all come into the football club, virtually, not all of them, but certainly most of them, are players that he's either worked with or he knows from the Eredivisie.
Yeah, the first thing is they've signed some brilliant players. I love Casemiro. I think that's a great signing. I think that's something that can start to change the culture of the club. He's a real standard setter, somebody who will really work with the young players to improve their standards on and off the pitch, massively experienced. Christian Eriksen I like as a signing. I think that makes a lot of sense. Antony is a great entertainer. I know people look at the fee and are unsure about that, but I think he is potentially a really exciting player that United fans will love. But my problem with it is that they don't seem to have learned from past mistakes. And what I mean by that is you've had Van Gaal and his players, Mourinho and his players, Solskjaer, they brought in players to kind of fit what he wanted to do. And now they've done the same with Ten Hag. What you really want, I think, as a big football club that has ambitions to get back to winning a title and doing well in Europe, you need to develop a style and a philosophy that works with the manager, but is kind of a bit independent of him too. Because if for whatever reason, and I do think Ten Hag will succeed, but if he doesn't, and if he doesn't make top 4 this season, doesn't make top 4 next season, United get an itchy trigger finger and he's gone, then what? Then you're back to square one to an extent, because the next manager comes in with different ideas, wants different targets. You have to have an overall scheme that isn't completely reliant on the manager. Now, Ten Hag might help them develop that, and when he goes, whenever that is, they might say, right, that's the football we want to play now. But it can't all be reliant on the manager, and it still feels to me as if it is.
I've just got the direct quote that I've got here from Erik ten Hag isn't actually as strong as we just made out, actually. He says, I think so far... I think for this window it will be the end, meaning no more transfers after Antony and Dubravka. But when there is great opportunity, you always have to be alert as a top club. So, Mark, the door is still ajar, shall we say?
I can't see Manchester United shutting the door and saying, that's it, we're done, until well after 11 o'clock tomorrow night. I still think there is more noise and speculation and twists and turns to come with regards to the Ronaldo saga. I know he may have said he anticipates Ronaldo to stay at the football club. I just can't see that happening myself. I still think he'll try his very best to engineer the right move for him and his family, and I don't think that's at Manchester United. And yeah, you just know. You know, we've been in these environments. I've stood outside training grounds where press officers and chief execs and managers have come out to me and said, I think we're pretty much done, Mark. I don't think we've got any more business to do. We're just going to order a takeaway and watch Sky Sports News and relax for the last few hours of the window. And then 2 hours later, you get a phone call and they say, we've been presented with an offer on a player that we simply cannot say no to. Therefore, we're back, all systems go. We're going to make this happen and we're going to do a last-minute deadline day signing. And there's been a number of times as well where clubs that I've been at on deadline day have applied for an extension, because you can do that, to try and get a player in and over the line at the last knockings.
Yeah, right, OK. Stop right there, because we can now hear from the man himself, Erik ten Hag.
Explain where the situation is with Antony, and also what you see in him, having worked with him at Ajax, that you think will make him a success at Manchester United.
First, we have to sign him. So there's agreement between the clubs, but the paperwork is not done. So I cannot go too deep in that fact.
OK. But would he hopefully fill a position that you think is important? Offensive department still, we need to strengthen that squad, our squad, because we have many games to cover. From now on, we go in 3 games a week, every third, fourth day. And as you know, especially from offensive players, they are quicker fatigued because they have to run more, high intensity. We expect that from them and our way of play. So we need numbers there, but not only numbers. We don't need only quantity. We need quality. We're led to believe that Martin Dubravka is also likely to sign for the club before the deadline. If that deal is done, will that be the end of the signings for Manchester United, or could you sign someone else? I think so. That will be for this window. It will be the end. But when there is great opportunity, you have to be always alert as a top club.
Alan, when Sky Sports News.
Erik, where does this leave Cristiano Ronaldo with Antony's incoming? Clearly, he wants to play. Does this restrict his game time more? Is he still part of the plans?
Clear, of course. But I just said, we need quality plays, and you need more to cover all the games, to keep also the consistency going, and that is what we strive for.
I know you said to Simon there that might be it, but is Aaron Wan-Bissaka still part of your plans? There's talk of Serginho Dest coming in from Barcelona, who you know, of course, from Ajax.
Of course, Aaron is still in, and he will stay in. So this squad, we will go from September till minimum January, but we will play with this squad this season.
OK, yeah, so Wan-Bissaka not going, Ronaldo, an answer there on him as well. So door is still open for new players if someone of great interest comes in. But Emma, I noticed that he said it's not quantity we need, it's quality, which is exactly the point you just made.
Yeah, which is what I was saying about the signings that they have made, are players that Erik ten Hag identified that he wanted, the likes of Antony, who, you know, we should hear an official announcement about very soon. But players that he identified, players that he thinks can transfer to the Premier League, transfer to his Manchester United squad and slot right in that starting 11, bar Martin Dubravka. So, yeah, talks about quality there, but also interesting to hear what he said about Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think that's going to change, is it?
Exactly. Well, the deadline is tomorrow at 11 p.m.